gondola fit, okay. I need to see which way the cemetery wants us to come in. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna make it that way or this way. All right, that one. All right. Oh, up. Very nice.
I'm just freelance. I'm Lauren's friend, basically.
Warren and who's the other?
Brooks.
What?
Brooks.
Brooks.
Yeah, he usually does these. Sorry.
Excuse me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a family.
Oh, okay, yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So Ed, sorry, I didn't.
No, it's okay. Yeah, so, my father. Uncle Mary. Uncle.
Baby.
Above all comprehension. Shir lama'alot esa inai el heharim me'ayin yavo ezri me'im Adonai yoseh shamayim va'aretz al yiten lamot raglecha al yanum shomrecha hine lo yanum velo yishan shomer Yisrael Adonai shomrecha Adonai tzilcha ad yad yaminecha yomam hashemesh lo yakeka v'yareach balayla Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra yishmor et nafshecha Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha me'ata ve'ad olam. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help comes from God, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your guardian will not slumber. The guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your protection, a guardian at your right hand. By day the sun will not strike you, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm and guard your life. God guards your going and coming, now and forevermore. In the words of Kohelet of Ecclesiastes, a season is set for everything, a time for every experience under heaven, a time for dancing and a time for wailing, a time for birthing and a time for dying, a time for speaking and a time for silence, a time for seeking and a time for losing. Psalm 23, which we are about to recite together in English, is a psalm that in Jewish tradition, it begins with, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Some of us know it by the numbers and some not, but it's very familiar in our culture. And in Jewish tradition, it is a psalm that is recited
Thanks.
at different significant points of transition. Right? For example, late on Saturday afternoon before the end of the Sabbath, it is one of the psalms that is often sung at the table after the third meal and as the sun is getting ready to set, and we're about to move from Shabbat, from the Sabbath, into the weekday. So that moment of that liminal moment of transition. And this is one of those moments. This is a profound moment of transition in your mother's life. So I invite all who wish to join with me in reciting the psalm together in English. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Muriel Gold was a happy person, a kind person, who devoted her energies to her family and to her home. Born and raised in Boston and then Newton, Muriel Gold attended college in Vermont and earned a degree in education. She taught for a number of years before turning her attention full-time to home and to child rearing. While Peter was young, caring for him and their home in Wellesley were her main focus. Summers were spent at her parents' home on the Cape. Harvey and Muriel's father would work in town during the week and then join the others on the Cape each weekend. Muriel had energy and creativity and frequently experimented with decorating and evidently redecorating and redecorating again their home. As Peter grew older and more independent, Muriel searched for new ways to be productive and engaged in meaningful work. She loved art and worked as an art restorer at the Fogg Art Museum for a number of years. She also collected a significant number of art pieces, amassing quite a collection, which you now have in abundance. Still, she struggled to find her niche. After leaving the Fogg, she never quite found the work life she wanted. Muriel had the skills, not the educational degree, to be an interior designer, and she put that energy into her home. Muriel filled her home with Muriel filled her time with other non-employment pursuits. She maintained an active social life in the neighborhood until moving to Wayland. She was an avid tennis player well into her 70s. She played bridge every Wednesday. By far her biggest enjoyment in recent decades stemmed from Heather, who is with us via camera today. Muriel was thrilled to have a grandchild. Heather became the most important aspect of Muriel's life, and she reveled in news of her, in conversations, and in visits over the years. Muriel lived a long life with family and home at the center. She was kind and classy. She enjoyed great satisfaction from being a mother and grandmother and moved through life as a happy individual. This is quite a gift and blessing. After 93 years on this earth, may Muriel Gold, daughter of Frank and Celia, rest now and forever in peace. Amen. We'll take a couple of moments for our own individual prayers and silent reflections. Anyone last words that you would like to offer Muriel before she begins the next stage of whatever is ahead of her. Before we then we'll continue with the memorial prayer in a moment. מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת שתיסה בת אפרים וסיליה שהלכה לעולמה, בגן עדן תהא מנוחתה. אנא בעל הרחמים, הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום המשכבה, ונאמר אמן. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure, to the soul of Muriel, Shtisa Bat Ephraim Vasilia, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that she find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. In Jewish tradition, the act of burying another person is referred to as a chesed shelamet, an act of pure loving kindness. For it's something that Muriel will never be able to repay us. This is not an act that she will ever be able to do for us. So it's seen as like this loving blanket that we're offering her at this time. And so I invite in a moment all who wish to, both by being here, we're participating in this mitzvah, in this command, and also then by putting earth over her coffin. And so any who wish to do the put earth over the coffin may come forward and do so. There are a couple of Ashkenazi traditions that are typically followed. One is that when you're finished with your turn, there's no, however many, there's no prescribed amount, but once you're done, rather than handing the shovel to the next person in line, we put it either down on the ground, like hold it, or back in the pile for the next person to pick up for her or himself. And the reason we do that is that it's a way to signal that we're not rushing to do this mitzvah with joy, that is with heavy hearts that we perform this duty. And then the second custom is to put a little bit in first with the shovel facing upside down. You won't get very much on there, but that also signals how, in some ways, wrong the need to do this feels. And then after you do it that way, put it, you use the shovel in the proper manner so that we can put earth over the coffin. Okay? Do you want to start us off? Vayashov ha'afar al ha'aretz k'shehaya, v'haruach tashuv el ha'elohim asher nitana. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. May Muriel's soul be bound up in the bond of life eternal. Send comfort to those who mourn, grant strength to those whose burden is sorrow, and let us say Amen. The first mitzvah that we perform in Muriel's memory is that of reciting the mourner's Kaddish, which we will do at this point. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, va'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam ule'olmei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. This concludes the burial service. What we do now as you leave the cemetery is we're going to form two short rows for you, Peter, to walk through as a way of symbolizing the community of support that we hope will be with you in the time ahead. Once you leave here, you go from this place of being of doing for your mom to being a mourner. So there's the period of Shiva, and then we can talk more if it's helpful about other ways to mark both the Shiva and this next year of mourning for you. Okay?
You
So
can come
we'll
right
follow
this way, please.
have you wait, just there.
Two on this side and
Come
two
on
on
this
this side.
This side, sir. There we go. We're just going
Makom
to
yenachem etchem b'toch sha'ar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May you find comfort among all mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. Is she still on? Yeah. I'm sorry for your loss.